Welcome back, everybody, to the Pokemon Soul Silver playthrough. This is part 35. Baby. Yeah, I went there. Don't even question it. Anyway, so suffice to say, we are doing a minor team switch again, switching out Contra and Tartard for Spikes 395 and UMAD. Wow, it's been a while, hasn't it? Yes, it has. Alrighty. I'm talking about UMAD, not anybody else. Anyway, so using some more of those HMs and HMs. Apparently, I guess I wasn't really too interested in using any TMs at the moment. All right, so we're gonna be using Spikes 395 to fly away. You know, I could have used Crobat, but you know, I figure why not? You know, haven't had him in the team yet, so might as well just give him a little air time. Literally, look at him flying through the air. Alright, so that being said, I'm going to be going over a few things that I actually missed now that I've gotten all the badges. There were a few points in the game that, well, you could have gotten things. They were pretty optional, but you didn't really have to. This being one of them. In between Route 30, or right before Route 36, I should say. Well, in between, I cannot remember what route that is, past Violet City. But anyway, this guy will give you Rock Smash. The HM, yeah, I don't really much care for HMs, but you know what? At least you can keep reusing them. Alright, so that out of the way, we are now moving on to something else, going back to Cianwood City, and to the place where the beachgoers go, and where we caught Blonde, where we had a little uncomfortable run-in with Ucene, yeah. You know, it's like every time you see Suicune, Ucene is amazingly somehow not far behind. I mean, it's like magic. You know, you see Suicune and then Ucene just appears, you know. Poof. Hello. Ah! And, yeah, amazingly, I mean, he keeps so close behind Suicune, yet he can never seem to catch him. What's going on there? Anyway, so, going into the Cliff Edge Gate for a brand new place introduced in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Route 47, which I believe is the newest, highest numbered route in Johto. Not 100% sure on this, but you know what? Might as well just look it up, huh? Route 47. Alrighty then. And that, oh, it leads, okay, so it's not. Okay. But anyway, that all being said, first Dunsparce of the playthrough, severely underrated Pokemon, I think. But, not a very useful Pokemon, regardless. But hey, you know, at least he's good fodder for good old Big Fat Bug. But yeah, using that good old fancy Ancient Power, trying to get the buff up from it. You know, it increases all your stats by one stage, randomly. Oh, what the? You know, I was so sure that that was going to kill him, but I guess not. Wow, first time Spikes 395 in the playthrough. Crazy. Big Fat Bug getting level up and not going to learn Feint because it's not a terribly good attack, I think. Look, I mean, how many Pokemon have Protect or Detect in the game? Come on. Crazy. Alright, so we're switching out to having Espionage up first. Look at the way he walks. He looks like a big ol' regal kitty cat. Yeah. I like Espeon. Alright. So he's camping out here. Hey, you crazy camper. Anyway. Camper Grant has got himself a fluffer. What do you know? Espionage, I insist that you do something about this, because he's not allowed to have one of them. Only me. Only me. Psybeam taking him out real easy. That's it for him. Yeah, he should be headed deeper, and, you know, just make yourself just not seen, okay? Just hide your head in the sand. Like, literally, there's some sand down there. Go hide your head in it. Alright, so finding a fancy Revive, just sitting right there. And I was a bit confused because I don't know if that was a glitch with the emulator or if that was actually part, like, of the graphics, but it looked like some sort of weird ladder to me. Anyway, you know, because I see things. Alright, so, anyway, there's two different ways you can go here. Now, I sort of went down the... Okay. Fine, just interrupt me. Machop, another Wrestling, but, yeah. It was interesting because, well, for one thing, I had read that Machop were in this area, right? But, like, I marked it down as a Pokemon that I wanted to catch, and I marked it down as being here. I didn't realize that you can only actually go here until much later on. So it kind of didn't really work out for me so well. Okay, so there's two different ways you can go. As you can see, I sort of cut it out because, like, really nothing of importance happened. I went down and, like, well, you know, we'll get there eventually, but suffice to say, it was just pointless. I just cut that time out. Alright, so, dousing and finding a Ultra Ball in the rocks somehow. It's like somebody just decided, you know what, I don't want to be a Pokemon trainer anymore. Just scram their Pokeball into the rock there. Now, I love this bit coming up here. Now, I decided on what two Pokemon I'm going to have here. Espionage, certainly, and UMAD. Alright, because, you know, he's just a power. Oh, God. Powerhouse. Yeah, that seems to keep happening from time to time. This music is amazing! It's, like, the most epic, like, spotted music. You know, spotted by a trainer music. It's a double battle with ace trainers. Whoa. And they have epic first-generation Pokemon. Electabuzz and Magmar. Espionage and UMAD. Gonna have to take him down. Show him who's the boss. That's right. It's these two. That doesn't really look good. Nobody saw that. Anyway, let's get to one of them fancy shoutouts. Addicted Gamer 1 says, my favorite memory of Pokemon. I don't have a lot of memories of Pokemon, though I might have cried in the first episodes when all the Spearows attacked Pikachu and that entire scene. Yeah, pretty sure I did. Favorite Pokemon? Ralts. Why? Because the rarity, and he's awesome. I remember searching for like 2 hours running through the first routes, trying to find him, and when I did it, it was such an awesome sense of self-accomplishment. That might be my favorite memory. Alright, so totally not using a revive on anybody. No, nobody fainted. Just using super potions. Yeah. You know, because when I was reading that memory, everybody looked away from the screen, not just me. Alright. So that being said, I thought it was interesting because, well, he mentioned... Oh, I thought that little thing on the ground was a hidden item, but, you know, I'm just checking everything. Interesting you should mention the first episode when the Spearows were going to attack Ash, actually. They were going after Ash. And I just remember thinking, like, watching that scene, like, several times, and I was just thinking, were they actually going to kill him? I'm pretty sure that they were. You know, if Pikachu hadn't stepped in and done something about it, you know, they had that whole epic, heartfelt scene and whatnot. Speaking of heartfelt, we get a double battle here with the young couple. And, yeah. You know, I kind of see what they're going with here with their Pokemon. The guy has an Onix, and the girl has a Cloyster. Yeah. Completely inappropriate. You know, like, when you look at it that way, like, the level of perversion was just really, really wrong. Especially to be used by a duo called Young Couple. Right. Good one, Nintendo. Good one. So now we're at Route 48, the legitimate highest route, highest numbered route in Johto. Well, introduced in Generation 4, of course. And where are we now? This is the Safari Zone. And it has got really great music. I like it. I like it a lot. And it's interesting that this person should say something about, like, a foreign country. Because, well, you know, the original Safari Zone was sort of created in a different continent slash country, I guess. Oh, well, I mean, legitimately, it's called a region. But, you know, you can call it whatever you want. I really don't care. Hey, look at Kangaskhan. And it does seem to be talking. Neither does the trainer. A very quiet duo. Kangaskhan. I will never forget. Seriously, when you think Kangaskhan, you are supposed to think of the Safari Zone. And just how ridiculously hard it was to catch a Kangaskhan. And we got a fancy shop here. Now, I decided to sell some stuff. Do not ask me why I did this. I don't even know why I sold those, but I did. You know, I mean, here I was talking about EVs for the longest friggin' time, and it just escaped my mind. You know, like it was a little thought that just went whoop by, you know, out of my head. So, yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Alrighty. So, no saving that, the vitamins there, so. So yeah, not actually going to go inside the Safari Zone, going to keep it some sort of gigantic mystery / suspenseful thingy, and talking to Espionage, and decided to completely speed up this part, because, well, we've already been here, and it took me absolutely ages to get around. Yeah, I don't, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, now we're going down here, the downward path. Now, this is the reason I decided to finally teach Waterfall to Gyarados. Aside from the fact that many people were suggesting that I should teach Gyarados Waterfall, it kind of escaped me because, you know, I guess I'm not 100%, like, certain. I mean, not certain, but, like, not 100%. It hasn't really registered in my head that, you know, water attacks can also be physical. And Gyarados has a high attack rating. So, or attack stat, I should say. So, Waterfall was the obvious choice because it's powerful and it's a physical attack. And water. So, really nothing to see here except for some grass, which I believe have some rare Pokemon in them. Which ones, you might ask? Well, that is a very good question. Well, I suppose I could look them up with the something or other. You know what? I have no idea. Anyway, so we are surfing again, getting a fancy item. I believe, yeah, it was a pearl, right? Apparently, I'm just gonna say a Shellder, just like spit up a pearl, and you know, there it is. And another fancy place, but unfortunately, I need Rock Climb, which, well, you really don't get until much later in the game. So, suffice to say, I cannot do this. But still, I didn't let that deter me at all. You know, I figured, you know, why don't I just keep going to the left? Oh, look, it looks like some sort of slight gap is there. Perhaps I can go through it without actually having Rock Climb. Nope, I need Rock Climb. Okay, then. So, yeah, we're going to be still using some fancy repels because, you know, I just don't much care for getting wild battles all the time. Like, literally all the time. Because, aside from that, the Pokemon are really weak here, so screw it. Alright, so waterfalling our way up over to the final secret in this little tiny bitty bit area. And it is a... What was I even doing there? Fancy White Flute, which is a hold item, which, if I had to guess, makes more wild Pokemon appear in the grass. So that being said, another shout out. Dash Roll Rush as my favorite Pokemon is Dunsparce. Wow, what do you know? We just saw the first Dunsparce in the playthrough. Because Dunsparce is such a nothing Pokemon, that's nice. He's a giant yellow slug with 2 small wings and tiny little drill on his tail. He's weak, but he doesn't show up too much like Zubat or Geodude. I like him because he's like a baby's thoughts. Random, colorful nothingness. Very poetic. I like that a lot. But Dunsparce is not a slug. It is a land snake. It's a snake, not a slug. There's a difference there. Alright then, so giving a couple of my Pokemon some held items. Finally making use of the Quick Claw because, well, I had originally given it to Contra, but Contra's not really here, so I just sort of took it away and gave it to somebody else. Alright, so super speeding away, and we are flying away. Where are we flying away to? We are flying to the place where fanciness happens. Yes, that's right. Cherry Grove City. Oh, sorry, New Bark Town. I was close. Anyway, so we're going here to legitimately see what the heck Professor Elm wanted earlier after I got those 8 fancy badges. Yeah, Lyra, thank you for noticing. Oh, the professor is waiting. How you doing, you crazy guy? You know, I do never cease to amaze you, because I am pretty amazing. And speaking of amazing, we're getting a Master Ball, because, well, Master Balls is what the Masters use, and I, you know, if I had to speak on my own behalf, I would have to say that I'm a Master. Yeah, Pokemon Master. Why does Lyra do that? Like, she says, like, one thing and then just, like, gets out. Like, bye. Anyway. There was one more thing I meant to mention before I get back into what the heck's going on here. Espionage just staring at the smoke. I can just imagine an Espeon doing that. Still looking for more slogans. I need just a few more slogans for Team Tartar, that's Poliwhirl, You Mad, that's Gyarados, Spats and Video Games, that's Crobat, and Blah, that's Lantern. Now, you know, I always say these like in the middle of the video because I want actually to people who actually watch the video to be the ones that, you know, actually say the slogans. But you know what, like, it's getting to the point where I really, really want the slogan, so I might just do something else, you know, and be like, hey, everybody, give me a comment. Hooray! Alright, then. So doing another fancy switch out. Gyarados going away. So sorry, Team UMAD, for Tartard. And that's about it. So Tartard is back. And we still got Skarmory staring blankly at the screen. Here we go. And we are gone. Now comes probably one of the more horrific parts of this game. Really, this part of the game was really not as horrible as it is in this generation. Zero just got thrown out of the Kimono Girls Dance Theater, and he was horribly, horribly beaten! Beaten to a pulp, says the man. Yeah, well, you know, I think, you know, Zero, hey, you know, you didn't have to go that far. I think he sums it up pretty well when he says that they are insanely strong. Now, I remember in the second generation, this was really optional. You know, you could come here and, well, I believe after you beat all 5 of them, then that guy that's sitting there in the audience will give you the HM for Surf, I believe. But this time, it is absolutely 100% necessary, and the Kimono Girls are just so much more powerful than they are the first time around. And for 2 reasons. Well, first of all, the obvious reason. Well, first we're being challenged by Kimono Girl Zuki, and she has an Umbreon! Holy cow! It's an Evolution, and just like Espeon, this is an amazing matchup. But one that doesn't really work out so well for Espionage, so we're going to be switching out. For 2 reasons. Well, first of all, their Pokemon are a lot higher level. That's obvious. The second reason is that you cannot leave this place until you beat all 5 of them in a row. And their Pokemon are actually all 5 at the time of the EV evolutions, which of course is Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, Umbreon, and Espionage. Well, regular Espeon, because there's only one Espionage. Alright. So, using Detect, kind of working out not so well. And then that happens. Because, well, Umbreon apparently likes to do that. But you know what? I had Big Fat Bug out because, well, Dark is weak to Bug. And he needs to stop doing that, like, ASAP. Because it's getting a little annoying. And, okay, good. Yeah. You know, I cannot get over how annoying the confusion is in this game. It went away for a good while. Like, I had that problem in, like, the first, like, 6 or 7 parts of this playthrough. And then, like, for the rest of it, you know, it was like, oh, there's hardly any confusion. Or my Pokemon just, like, work through it. But now, look at this. Come on! Big Fat Bug, let's get it together. Come on. Snap, snap, snap. Out of that confusion. Let's go. You are just... You're getting made into a joke here, and I just don't much care for that. Oh, that's what I was going to do. This whole time, the whole time that he's been confused and hitting himself, I was trying to get him to do Double Team, so that stuff like this wouldn't happen. Why? Come on. You know what, Fireball? Go get him. Seriously, go get him. This guy is really starting to grind my gears. Lava Plume, not messing around with Umbreon, who does, in fact, have very high defenses. So it doesn't really work too well. But I did take out a decent chunk of his HP. And there he goes, right straight back to Confuse Ray. Come on, Fireball, you're better than this. There you go. Lava Plume him to death. Not literally, though, because, well, that... Oh! Perfect. Because that would be violent and wrong. Poof. Shadow Ball, not really the best idea in my opinion, because he doesn't get stabbed from it. So another Lava Plume, if he could just do that, yes! Poof! And I believe that's it for Umbreon. Yeah, that's it. Alrighty. So Espionage, getting some EXP, as well as Fireball. Big Fat Bug, I would say, did quite a bit of work. Unfortunately, he gets nothing for it. So that being said, that's it for the first one. Spinning around, here we go with the second one. That was the one... Ah, yes, the one that got lost in the Ilex Forest. Right, right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do it. What Pokemon does she have? The first one had Umbreon. The second one, Naoko, has Espeon. Yeah. What a mirror match. Might as well just use that fancy Shadow Ball, because the last time I checked, I pretty much gave Espionage Shadow Ball so that it could be totally wreckage over other Psychic types. And I believe that Espeon is indeed a Psychic type. That was a pretty gosh darn decent hit, Espeon. One more, and we will be able to call this quits for her. Well, not for us, but, you know, we'll totally own him. And another super effective... Wow, and a crit. Wow, random crits. And that's it for her Espeon. Wow, okay, that was a lot easier than Umbreon, I must say. Yes, I am truly strong. Thank you for noticing. Thank you very much. Okay, so here we go with another one spinning around. Quite the trainer. Team Rocket Grunt, right from here, right, I'm the one that decided to spin around like an absolute psycho case. Okay. The what? Did she just say that she's the one that speaks the least? It's so great how they can, like, bend, like, the fourth wall, sort of. Anyway. Flareon up next. I think I'm going to try my hand with Espionage here. But, in the meantime, another fancy shout-out. Mega Ultra Super Dude. Wow, that's an epic name. Says, the only thing I can think of is when I was fighting the Ghost-type gym leader in Heart Gold. One of his Pokemon managed to KO all of mine except for Eevee. Why did Espeon just faint? For God's sake, no! And, what's his name? Morty. Right, that gym leader. Alright, so Tartar, not gonna be messing around with this Flareon anymore. Managed to KO all of my Pokemon except for Eevee. The thing is, his only attacking move was Ghost-type, and my only attacking move was Normal-type. So neither of us could hit each other. He also had a move that prevented me from switching, which I would believe is mean look. However, this gave me a chance to heal and revive the rest of my team, and I ended up defeating him after his had killed itself with struggle. Haha. That sounds hilarious. It sounds like it took absolutely forever, but it sounds hilarious. Why does Espeon... why does Flareon have Fire Blast? Tartard, come on, you can take him... You know what? I hate you so much. This is like... Why did it have to have Quick Attack? If it just didn't have that, we actually would have been done with this. Hey, Citizen Zap. Hey, dude. Alright. Discharge. Oh, Quick Claw. In effect. Discharge. Taking him out. Epic quick. Thank you very much, Citizen Zap. Good night, Flareon. God. That was not really as annoying as Umbreon, but it was pretty up there in the annoyingness scale. Alrighty then. So off of Flareon. Next, we got Excellent Fighting Spirit. Oh, she was the one that got stuck on the ice. I'm the one that skates with sandals. Hahaha. Alrighty then. Interesting. So this is Kimono Girl Sayo. And she has got a Jolteon. Now, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil this. I super sped this part because I found Jolteon to be the most annoying Pokemon of the 5 of them, and it took me forever to take this thing down. So this entire battle is going to be super sped, and I'm going to get to another fancy shout-out. Everyone Explode Now, who I already read their favorite memory before, but later on they listed a favorite Pokemon, and their favorite Pokemon, they said, my favorite Pokemon is Absol. I really like things that are black and white. Pokemon black and white. I think they just go together very well. It's also a cat with a freaking blade thing coming out of its head. That's just epic. Also, Dark is my favorite type, so that's another reason why I like it. And yeah, as you can see, Jolteon is just having its way here with all the nonsense and the ridiculousness. And Last Resort, that was the thing. Last Resort just really, oh my god, did it rage me good. Last Resort is an attack that they can only use when all their other moves have been used, which I believe they have to have 4. All 3 of them have to have been used in the same battle. Then they can use Last Resort, which has a power of, if I recall correctly, 140. Yes, it does. That is just a little bit too strong. I'm sorry. And it just seemed like it did Last Resort a little bit too much. And the thing that really got me the thing that really just made me so mad was that the little animation noise, as you can see, I'm having a little potion war here. The little noise that Last Resort makes, it's got like that upbeat, like, you know, childish type noise. It's just like, I can't remember how it goes, but it was just that noise that really got me because of how powerful it was. Anyway, and the nothingness of its animation, it's like, it literally just looks like Swift, but yet it's somehow incredibly powerful. Yeah, so like I said, just potion spamming. I was not gonna lose Fireball here. That would have just, I would have just killed myself. Anyway, not literally. And Fireball finally finding the opening to take it out. Citizen Zap, Spikes 395, and Fireball getting some EXP. God, yeah, I almost had you. That was not an understatement. She literally almost had me. And the last one. The Goldenrod Tunnel, she's the one that twirls even underground. Kuni. Alrighty. So, if I had to guess, well, Kuni is the one that has a Vaporeon. Yeah, I called it. If it's a Vaporeon, you all owe me a Coke. Oh, look, it's a Vaporeon. You owe me a Coke. Not literally, though. Unless you can send one through the internet. That'd be amazing. Now then, another fancy shout-out. Kikuchio777 says, ha 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 ha. Well, one memory sticks out. Well, me and my brother was transferring our Aerodactyls on red and blue. Can't remember the other one. But as it was training Pokemon, the Game Boy connection cable screwed up, and well, our poor Aerodactyls are gone. I would assume. They didn't actually type that, but they just said, our poor Aerodactyls. Still have that faulty purple cable of death. Probably, my favorite Pokemon will probably be Totodile, because it's so joyful and spastic, has to be the best personality on the show. Or has the best personality on the show. Now, two things. That thing they were talking about with the trading, I remember a very well-known trick that you could do in the first generation with trading if you disconnect the cables just at the right time after trading your Pokemon. It would actually clone one of the Pokemon that you were trading. And I remember doing that with the Muse that I got off of that event. Oh yes, right, Paralyzed, yeah. There's a battle going on. Yeah, Vaporeon getting zapped, Citizen Zap owning it. Anyway, oh, and they also mentioned Totodile having the best personality on the show. I have to disagree. I think that Cyndaquil was just so unbelievably, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I thought Cyndaquil was cute. I thought it was super cute. It was great. I loved Cyndaquil. Alrighty then. So the title bell we got for... God, that was one hell of a door slam. Oh, she saw a big shadow of a Pokemon at the Whirl Islands. Well, I would... If I had to guess, it would probably be that one Pokemon that's in my background that occasionally appears behind the video somehow. Hey, it's Lyra. What the heck do you want? Oh, okay, I clicked on it. Okay. I remember you saying this before, Lyra. Go away. Stop calling me, you weirdo stalker. Skarmory, what do you have to say about this? Nipping at your feet. Crazy talk. Anyways, so yeah, I liked Cyndaquil, you know? I think that should go without saying. And now we are, what are we doing? Oh yeah, that's right, we went ahead and healed real quick. And now we're going to Cherry Grove City. See, I called it earlier. And now it's actually happening. See, I feel like I called it hours ago, but you know what? It wasn't. Okay. So now we're gonna do another one of those little bitty fancy team switches that we love to do so much. And by we, I mean me, because I am playing with my Wii. You know, get it? Wii. Playing. Anyway. Alright. So Contra is back. Spikes 395. Thank you for your service. The Pokemon. I'm not talking to the actual person. You know, I really should have foreseen that this was gonna get a little awkward, but whatever. Hey, it's all in good fun. Right, buddy? Yeah. Who am I talking to? The Pokemon or the person? Who knows? Anyway, so we're going to be super repellent because we super don't want any level 3 Pokemon to come out and attack us. God, no. I'm going to be giving the Lagging Tail to Contra. I love that name, the Lagging Tail. You know, That's definitely a name that would resound well with the internet generation. But anyway, the lagging tail basically makes a Pokemon go 50% as fast as it would, so basically it halves its speed. The reason why I did that with Contra is because not only is it naturally slow, but it also has payback, which gets a lot faster if it goes second in the turn and gets hit. So I wanted to absolutely make sure that Contra indeed goes last. Hey, it's Lyra, just standing in the middle of nowhere. Really, I wonder what a kimono girl wants from you. I just went and saw them. Apparently word doesn't travel very fast. Yeah, I think maybe it is a little bit pudgy there. But anyway, I went back to New Bark Town because, well, I got a tad confused. Like I said before, I did not realize originally that you are meant to go and face Lugia. So, you know, if I had to guess, I would say that that's pretty much the next thing that I have to do. So we're going to go ahead and save, and that's going to be it for this part of the Pokemon Soul Silver playthrough. Join me in part 36, where we'll be moving on to amazingly epic things, and doing said epic things in part 36 of this playthrough. I hope you will join me. See you all next time!